Mr Speaker, if this Brexit debate doesn't cover the bread and butter issues for my Blackpool constituents, for all our constituents, decent jobs, maintaining living standards, enough food on the table to feed their family, it will be for the birds. The truth is that they are already paying a price for the Prime Minister's botched negotiations. Her deal would make those bread and butter issues worse. No safeguards over employment or environmental rights, unenforceable under her Brexit deal, and her last-minute panic fig leaf to our trade unions and Labour MPs will fool very few. Now, the government's own statistics show her deal reducing the size of the UK economy by at least 3.9%, a £100 billion hit compared with 2016. Jobs lost, growth stalled. For us in Blackpool and other small towns, a grim prospect. No Brexit dividend for public services or the NHS, which that mendacious bus promised. And now the British Retail Consortium has pointed out, as we've heard, that could lead to price rises from no deal, in Blackpool, for example, ranging from at least 9% to the mid-20%. No one in my constituency voted to be worse off from this scenario, or the no deal she's wasting millions of pounds on already. Our major North West industries, such as the BAE and the ongoing supply chain, hundreds of jobs in and around Blackpool dependent on them, would suffer from no deal. On top of that, the government has failed to secure any deals for beyond 2020 for the tens of millions of pounds and hundreds of jobs dependent on university research programmes within the EU. No opportunities for our students and apprentices to continue benefiting from the Erasmus programme. An end to EU social and regeneration funding, which has benefited us strongly in the North West. The universities closest to my constituency, Lancaster, UCLan, Edgehill, our own excellent Blackpool and the Fylde colleges, would be put in severe jeopardy. It takes a rare sort of political genius to disappoint almost all sides of opinion across the UK, but by goodness the PM has managed it. Everyone from the Mayor of London to the DUP. And instead of reaching out to heal the scars and divisions of a failed austerity, she has been obsessed by divisions in her own party. The huge irony being that her deal is now unwanted by 2 out of every 3 Tory party members. Not since Chamberlain went to Munich to meet Hitler and came back waving a piece of paper saying peace in our time has a British Prime Minister had so inept or ignoble a conclusion to negotiations. This deal undermines the aspirations of the young and also the security of the old. It has let down our NATO friends and allies in Central Europe and the Baltics, when this country supported them so strongly to access a democratic 21st century Europe. And then there is the future of peace and prosperity in Northern Ireland. The Prime Minister's failing over the backstops and other elements have stirred up suspicions on all sides. It's no surprise the DUP fear being shunted into an endless groundhog on the backstop. This government's bungling threatens to undermine the Good Friday Agreement. Have we so soon forgotten the terrible price the whole of the UK and the communities of Northern Ireland paid through the Troubles? As a young man, I remember the Birmingham bombings, hearing a bomb going off round the corner from my London office, and a press trip I'd gone on to Northern Ireland being cut short by worried checkpoint guards after the murder of the 2 British corporals in Anderson Town. Given all of that suffering, how could this Prime Minister take the chance to jeopardise the Good Friday Agreement? The Prime Minister talks up global Britain, but as a result of her bungling, must we end up instead of being a linchpin for Europe between our allies, North America and the Commonwealth, with all the soft power that gives us being reduced to being an offshore island with her deal that satisfies no one's aspirations? This has come about because she lacked the leadership or ability to look through the end of the telescope, a similar failure to that which led the Roman historian Tacitus to put into the mouth of the Scottish chieftain the bitter words, "They make a desert and call it a peace." Well, that's what she will create if her deal is accepted. A desert for those who want Brexit to be a new start, but also for those who wish to reform the EU. A desert for those on all sides of our House, proud of our international achievement. A desert of sterility to which we will be chained for years to come. I accept she has displayed stamina in pursuing her deal, but that doesn't compensate for the lack of foresight or empathy. As one of our own MPs told her, stamina is no substitute for strategy. But so boxed in has she become, she's convinced she's some form of 21st century Joan of Arc, hearing voices instructing her what to do. But she's not Joan of Arc, she's not heard heavenly voices, and if she's walking to a Brexit stake, it's to one of her own construction. And if she cannot see that, This House should remember another occasion when the national interest overrode a Prime Minister, when Leo Amery challenged Neville Chamberlain by quoting Oliver Cromwell's words, "You have sat here too long for any good you've been doing.
He's run out of time.
In the name of God, go."
Thank you. Helen